have you noticed in every moment, there's still just this moment, and still this moment. And in every moment, which is a weird way to say it, it's almost as if there are separate moments when I say in every moment, but really there's only every moment. The moment is every moment. There's only every moment. And have you noticed in every moment, which it's still this moment, and in every moment, we experience reality in varying ways. And it's all a matter of where our attention is. It's so easy for our attention to get pulled in to that part of us that's growly, irritated with this place, wanting to control and manipulate and get things how we want them to be. We can experience reality through that part of us that can get very feisty. It's very selfish. Of course, I'm speaking of what I call the wanter. It's just a part of all of our experience in any moment, whatever is presenting itself in this eternal moment. We're noticing, if we're noticing, that there's a tendency to get pulled into that part of us that wants it to be different than it is, that resists, that tries to control and subvert and strategize, and can get pretty, can get downright mean. This part of us is the part that wants revenge and is mad, and how come it has to be this way, and this is so unfair. And that's not wrong or bad that we experience that. This is a realm in which we get to experience what that feels like, to feel so separate and alone and in need of change and control and strategies and the growl of it. So it's very likely to get pulled in there. And the wonderful, great news of what we notice in our direct experience is that doesn't have to be how we experience each moment. There's also that simple, natural ease that we are, that is not against the moments, doesn't need them to be different, is allowing, is available, is in the adventure of it. Our true nature, all of the words can be inherently limiting as soon as we use them, but the truth is there is this play that we all experience in every moment. We're either enjoying and in the adventure of the moment, or we're resisting and wanting it to be different than it is. That's just verifiable in our direct experience. In every moment, la 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 la. In every moment, la 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 la. In every moment, we came here to play. In every moment, and in every way. So in that gap just now when I wasn't speaking, did you need it to be different? Were you having mind activity? Were there thoughts that came in? Whatever occurred is okay. We don't need to in any way judge ourselves for however we're experiencing each moment. It will be very dynamic, and it's very likely to get pulled into that part of us that is, bringing agenda to the moment, wanting it to be a certain way. But the more that we play, the more that we explore, the more that we notice the power of our attention, we are ever more likely to notice it when we get pulled in, honor and thank our wanter. Thank you so much, wanter, for wanting this moment to be better for me. That's really all that's going on in every moment. The wanter is just simply looking out for us. It is our ally. It's just trying to make things better for us. Now, it doesn't care about anyone else. But our wanter very much cares about us. Yeah, so we can thank our wanter. Thank you so much, wanter, for wanting this moment to be easier for me, to be not so intense, to be less like it is. Thank you so much, wanter, for always having my back and always wanting there to be easy flows for me. You're always looking out for me. We can be very grateful to our wanter and honor our wanter. And then we can rest back and experience the moment from a larger perspective, realizing, oh, I don't actually have control over this bumper-to-bumper traffic or this rain that's happening on the day of our picnic, whatever it is that our wanter would want to be different for us. And in this realm, there's all kinds of variety of experiences, kind of on a continuum of mildly annoying to really intense and absolutely difficult. So we're not in any way disregarding the intensity of our lived experience. It's going to be intense. And there's going to be times where we just get pulled in to that despair and hopelessness. And there might even be times that we, don't want to be here anymore. That's a very likely threshold to encounter that part of us. It's an amazing paradox of that part of us that I call the wanter, that's there to make things better for us and to survive us and get us out of the cold and get us back where it's warm, or get us into the shade if we're too hot, get us some water if we're thirsty, food if we're hungry, oxygen if we're underwater. That part of us will always try to survive us. And the amazing irony and paradox of that aspect that I call the wanter, if it gets so hopeless, filled with such despair that there doesn't seem to be any way out of the difficulty, the wanter will then come up with a final conclusion that the only way out of the despair and hopelessness is to die. It's an amazing paradox of the very aspect that tries to make it better for us. There can be a point where it feels like there's no way out, and the wanter will come to the conclusion that the only way to make it better for us is for us not to be experiencing it anymore, which might mean we need to jump off a bridge or whatever other ways. And we've probably all in other incarnations done that. And then we get to experience this again, and we get to see, oh, is there a way to be amidst the difficulty, the disturbance of life not being how we want it to be, and be able to accept and realize that we came here to experience what it feels like to be annoyed, frustrated, angry, resentful, sad, disappointed, dissatisfied, primal rage. This is a realm where all of that gets to be experienced. And yet, no being, what we really are, our eternal self, is ever harmed by any of this. What we really are can't be blown up by a bomb, can't be sliced by the sharpest sword, can't be in any way harmed by an insult or a betrayal. What we really are is unharmable eternally. We exist forever, and we get to have this human experience. And it turns out in this human experience, we can become liberated into the adventure of it. We can remember again that we came here to experience this realm, and we can ride the waves of the comings and goings, the various rising and falling of experiences, the temporary nature of this realm. We can ride the waves, be available to the adventure. Sometimes we might be surprised at what unfolds, and yet all of it is the divine play of consciousness. Chidvilasa, in Sanskrit we would say Chidvilasa, the divine play of consciousness. We can directly experience the truth of that. We can be liberated. Mukti, in Sanskrit we would say for liberation. Mukti, we can be liberated in the adventure of the lived experience. Jivan, we would say in Sanskrit. Jivan, our lived experience, is Jivan. We can be Jivan Mukti, liberated while having our lived experience, remembering the truth, directly experience. There's a possibility of of directly experiencing the adventure of all of this, even when we stumble over our words. We can let ourselves be available to the play. Chidvilasa. When we do, we will experience ananda. That's the Sanskrit word we often use to try to describe the direct experience of the truth, of the realization of the adventure, of the wild loveliness of it all. We can be in ananda, the bliss, the equanimity, the ease, the naturalness of Chidvilasa, the divine play of consciousness. Chidvilasa nanda, which leads to Jivan Mukti Om. Jivan Mukti, liberated while living. Mukti, liberated. Jivan, living. Om, the sound of the universe. All of us are a melody of the sound of the universe. Every one of us is a unique melody of Om, of the sound of the universe. Jivan Mukti Om. Chivilazananda Jivan Mukti Om. Chivilazananda Jivan Mukti Om. Chivilazananda Jivan Mukti Om. With every in-breath and every out-breath. This is the play. We can be awake to the play, aware of the play while in the play. We can wake up to the play while in the play. This naturally reveals that there's an absolute loving kindness and absolute compassion and unconditional love that we are. Prem, we would say in Sanskrit, prem, absolute unconditional love that is the very nature of our being. We can directly experience that absolute unconditional love. Ananda is the bliss, the direct experience of prem. Prem Ananda is the direct experience, the bliss of absolute unconditional love. There, I think that flowed out a little bit better that time. You never know how the words will tumble out. Sometimes they're closer and sometimes they're further from what's being attempted to be described. Jivilasananda Jivan Mukti Om Jivilasananda Jivan Mukti Om Jivilasananda Jivan Mukti Om Jivilasananda Jivan Mukti Om Mukti Om Premananda Mukti Om Premananda Om Mukti Om Premananda Om Mukti Om Premananda In every moment we came here to play. We find our way when we let ourselves play. In every moment we came here to shine. In every moment, lovely divine mukti. When we let ourselves play, mukti, we find our way, mukti. When we let ourselves shine, mukti, ooh, lovely divine Jivilasananda.